how did you get that scar? Bet. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Lazy Brown Productions with your boy, D. Wesley, and I am here to review Absolute Superman Chapter 4. It has been a while since I've reviewed it, but I'm gonna get back into it. And I was enjoying it, but I dropped off at other things I was trying to review, but no excuses. I'm gonna hop into it and let's see where it goes. Okay, so we pretty much start off today where Lois she's asking around for Superman, and while she's asking around, we kind of find out that the locals are having a hard time opening up to Lois because she is a part of Lazarus, the same group that the Peacemakers are a part of. And as she's asking around, she comes across one woman who apparently she got burned, or she has a big scar on her face, and she asks, where did you get that scar from? And the woman tells her, I'm thinking the woman tells her because that's the only way we could have found out about that, because we see in another panel that Lois goes over and beats up the Peacemaker that beats up on that poor innocent woman. So during this whole conflict, I found it interesting, which you already knew, but they really just confirmed and hammered it down in this go round, that the Peacemakers are big brutes who use power and force to probably intimidate and beat people up. And because of that, we are now seeing in this world that people are willing and are waiting for Superman to pretty much burn everything to the ground, because in their interviews that they have with Lois, they said, I hope the Superman pretty much destroys everything. I don't care. I'm just ready and I am over it. It's fun to think about it because, well, I'm gonna put a pause on that with this, because to me, I love this little detail that they kind of went back to Superman roots for this. And Superman was originally created because pretty much two guys felt there's so much injustice in the world, they wish that somebody could come and just take care of everything. And so they created Superman. Pretty much is the basis of how Superman was created. In his early comics, that's pretty much what he did. I think New 52 tried to capture that, but I won't go into that detail because I know some people have a different opinion about New 52 Superman. It was very down the middle. But with this one, I feel they managed to go back to the roots, and pretty much Superman is the guy or the powerhouse for the people who cannot stand up to a regime or to corruption, and they need somebody to come in and destroy it all or to help them out. To me, it always felt like this is a Superman that is a big brother, or he's there to help out everybody. But back to the story. So after Lois does her grandiose butt whooping on the Peacemaker, she kind of walks off. And as she walks off, she gets pretty much a call or a message from her father, Sam Lane, who is asking, I hear that you're going around looking for the Superman, and why don't you have backup? So as she's explaining that she needs the voice of the community, or she needs the people to open up to her, Sam Lane goes on to tell Lois that, oh, okay, the last time I heard somebody talk about the community was from one of his peoples who ended up being destroyed or taken out because the community at that point said, freedom, freedom, freedom. And after the footage of seeing what happened to his own guy, I'm guessing he went ahead and got revenge on them, on the community itself. And apparently the community also says something about Omega Men, so that's going to be interesting how they play interest in it. I'm not too familiar with Omega Men, but it's going to be interesting because I think the Omega Men are those 5 metal robots. I could be wrong, but that's the last time I've heard of them. But it's going to be interesting to see what they say about that. But we then see that Sam Lane's pretty much worried about Lois and tells her, yeah, that's good and all, but you also got to remember that these people are willing to attack you to make a point, because I guess Sam's on the boat of he doesn't see the atrocities that the Lazarus has done to people and what the Peacemakers do. So for him, he's like, take it. Take them with you and be safe. And she goes like, I understand where you're coming from, Dad, but pretty much you can tell that she's still going to do her. And I love that defiant side of Lois, and I feel that defiant side and willing to look past certain things than just surface level stuff like her father. That's what's going to make Superman eventually be attracted to her, like in the regular continuity. So with that being said, he then asks her, what is it about you writing your own reports when you know Brainiac? And the moment that he says that, that's when Lois decides to hang up from him and then keep it moving. So you can kind of see that Sam is still the pro organization that he loves to be. He's not changing, and he probably sees some good, some bad, but he probably thinks the good outweighs the bad. Lois is going through the city. She leaves the Peacemakers behind. She doesn't want none of their help because she's willing to do it on her own. And you could tell that she's also not going to be a fool. She's willing to keep her guard up at the same time. Okay, so as she's walking through the slums, we notice that she apparently is being followed by two people we have no idea who they are, or who they could be. Meanwhile, while all this is happening, we see the Peacemaker trying to explain to the Brainiac program what happened and why he shot a bunch of civilians, or why he took out a bunch of civilians. And while doing it, we see it's kind of like a therapy session, but in the therapy session, what they call the Brainiac, or the AI computer that pretty much controls every like piece of equipment in there, we see that the Brainiac doesn't really care about his mental state. He doesn't really care about what he has to say. He's kind of just making excuses for what happened and denying anything that the guy is trying to say, and saying like, you're cleared, it's okay, just go out, you just need to do A, B, and C. And the guy's like, no, you have to listen to me, gosh darn it. And the Brainiac system isn't listening and just trying to push him out. So that's one thing going on. We head back over to where the people that were following Lois, they eventually lose sight of her, or I should say the one person who's trying to catch her loses sight of her, and when you lose sight of her, she comes up behind and says, why are you following me? So with that, he kind of shocks her with some of his technology and blinds her, but that doesn't stop her because she's a beast and she fights through it, saying like, you think I haven't fought being blind before? Bet. So they start tussling, and then his partner starts intervening, and she starts firing on Lois. So they're going back and forth. Peacemakers start hearing rumble. The Brainiac system is telling Lois, you're under siege, we'll request backup. Lois like, I don't need no backup. Leave it alone. So with that in mind, it still calls for backup. So the Peacemaker's going through the neighborhood, tearing it up to get to Lois. Then that's when Superman comes in. Superman comes in to kind of try to quell the fighting, and he tries to tell Lois, stop following me. And she goes like, no, I just want to talk. He's like, I have nothing to talk to you about. Honestly, all this going on, it kind of makes me feel like maybe Superman really doesn't trust the government because of what happened in his homeworld from his memories with his parents. So now he has a prejudice against government officials, which is understandable after what he's been through. And what I'm guessing is he probably lost his family. So I can understand that. While all this is going on, the Omega Men come in. The Peacemakers come in. There's a woman on the Omega Man side that's trying to recruit Superman. And she says, the Omega Men are here for you, Superman. We're down for the cause. We're ready to help you tear down and savage it. Superman's like, get out of here. And kind of throws her to the side. That's when the Peacemakers come in. And we see that the Peacemaker, who earlier had an issue with or I should say, we see that the Peacemaker earlier, who was talking to the Brainiac program, he was pretty much reciting their mantra of peace at all costs. James Gunn. So it's interesting how a piece of media can determine the state of a character. So I kind of like that, but at the same time, anyway, when we see all that happen, they come in, but Superman stops them by freezing them to death with freeze breath. And so after he freezes them, he pretty much dips out, where Lois is pretty much saying, yeah, that's what I get, and goes about her way. Then we find out that the person, spoiler, but we find out that the person underneath the mask was Jimmy Olsen. And don't know who that person is, the one that's really calling for, what's the word I'm looking for? That's Jimmy's upper supervisor. Pretty much says you could have gotten yourself compromised, and she's just berating him, and he's not paying attention. He's still inspired by the Superman, but at the same time, though, we see that he is trying to recruit Lois, because he can see that Lois is not like everybody else. The woman who is the supervisor does not see it that way. And then we kind of turn over to the panels of the Peacemaker who comes out of his rage or his sink, and pretty much he has obliterated a bunch of people. Apparently that happened because they were laughing at him being frozen in what appeared to be ice, which he was, and they made him flip. So now they're like, oh crap, now we gotta explain this. And yeah. Oh, okay then. So, if I had to say my overall review of this whole thing, 7 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. Enjoyable. It's nice to know that it's nice to know that we're getting more meat into the matter and more of how this world views things and how much Darkseid changed. I'm definitely want to see how Lois gets through to him. I want to see who this Peacemaker is. I think they call it Christopher Daniels or something like that. So I don't know, maybe he's supposed to be gonna be like the robot Superman, like Hank Shaw, but maybe he's different. I don't know. So it's gonna be interesting to see where this goes. I like the fact of we really did get more of a grounded Superman in terms of this is the Superman for the people. We see the people are sad, they're miserable, they don't trust their government officials, they don't trust the higher ups, and he's here to help them out. But he's showing that I'm not on any side. I'm not on Omega Man side. I'm not on the government side. I'm just here to help out the people. I want to see more of his past and how he got to Earth. I want to see, like, maybe did his parents in this universe come with him? Maybe like one or two of them. Well, I can't remember if they passed away or not. So we'll see. But overall, I have to say it was a solid chapter. We got to see that Lois has, it seems like, which usually is, a complicated relationship with her father, where she loves him because the picture is of her and her father when she was a little girl, being happy. But instead of calling him dad, and when he called her, it's called General. So it must be kind of like a weird sort of, I love you as a father, but at the same time, though, you can be very annoying. Because you also come from the standpoint of not a general, but as a father. So, there's that. But I say pick the book up, and just go from there. Hopefully more chapters are coming this way. I do wonder, we see that apparently Brainiac is behind a lot of this. So, we know it's Lazarus, and we know it's Brainiac. I wonder where Lex Luthor is going to come in. So I wonder if Lex has made a deal with Brainiac, and with that's how they're controlling everybody. It's just me kind of going off my own mind and trying to figure out how they're going to go about doing this. But we'll see. Hopefully I can produce more of these in the future, and I'm going to do my best to produce more of these, and we'll go from there. But I hope everybody has a great day. I'll catch you later. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for listening to me, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.